right now. And I just opened up. It's all right. It's all right. We're gonna get it to the Moors as we speak. Cause sometime for some reason when I send it out, it don't go the first time. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just forward already what I have sent out to the Moors, cause it's in there. And as I forward this to you Moors, you should have it. I'm gonna just forward the email to you. So just give me 1 second and you should get it. Okay. Islam. And in the meantime, Islam Moors, we want to rise and give all praises to the great God Allah and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem. We give honors to our national flag, divine constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything. And I do mean everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. I want to welcome you, Moorish kin, to another Moorish Perspectives, as I am your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Mohadi Shabazel, and my ancient committee and high name being the same as Dr. Shedwa Mintiel Muhammad Shepsuel. And have a grand draw at Moorish kin to bring to the manifest tonight, and most definitely uplift our Moorish kin and give them a grand insight. You see, and we just got a confirmation that the sound is good for our family that was looking, and we give honors to all of our Moorish kin. Also, gratitude to our family that's out there in the world, listening to us. And also, we want to be able to direct our Moorish kin to our Moorish conference call as well. So if you want to tune in on our conference call, in the process as well, as we reaching out people in many different areas in the apparatuses, certain people are better able to use the computer than they are to use the phone. So you can go both ways. But on our conference call, we are on the line 609-746-1180. You see, again, that's 609-746-1180. And like I say, we are still here live streaming as well. So whether our family is able to come through the number of the conference call, you still tuned in. And the extension number is 639-381-pound. Again, that's 639-381-pound. So gratitude to the family, here, there, and everywhere. We have a grand subject measure to bring on the manifest of a matter that is long overdue, especially when we start drawing, on our science. A lot of people have been drawing on a lot of Eurocentric science when it comes to certain measures, but we're going to be drawing on our science tonight. So we encourage our family, to have your paper and your pen on the manifest, so to speak, so that you can come forth with your questions and we can come forth with a favorable reply when it comes to the answers, and answering your questions and so forth and so on, because we want to make sure that we are able to give our people as much clarity as possible. Now, our subject matter that we will be dealing with tonight, our subject title is Honor Thy Mother and Thy Father, for this is the holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. We just heard our beloved brother Marvin Edwards Bay, want to give honors to him, read, from this special chapter. We give honors to you, grand man, for that grand work, a powerful measure. Praise be to Allah for all the work that you do and all the work that you will do. Islamism without the schism. So we want to go into the depths of this special subject title, honor thy mother and thy father, for this is the holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Here in the Moorish American government, we teach, and we want to give honors to all of our family out there too, by the way. Our beloved brother Daryl Bass, that's in our chat. Tony Chiba, we want to give honors to you, brother, for tuning into our message. Julius Funkris Bay, want to give honors to brother Torrey Bowden, Shadrach L, all of you brothers that are within the sounds of the voices of Moorish America at this particular time. We honor all of you, family, for tuning in. And we look forward to your input as well. So praise be to the great God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. So yes, this is a powerful measure, family. When we go into what it is that we are here to draw upon, family. Again, our subject matter is honor thy mother and thy father, for this is the holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Now we know that this connects to, in most cases, our earthly mother and father. That's a grand drawing. But there's a deeper measure when it comes to honoring our mother and our father. You see, there's a grander drawing when it comes to this special measure, family. And the drawing is in connection with what we call our nationality and divine creed. Your decent nature comes through your father. He's the husbandman that casted the seed within the soil of soul that one may grow apace. And thy mother, is basically your first teacher when it comes to the divine creed. In fact, she is the goddess, that begins to teach you and instruct you and so forth and so on. So she is synonymous with being the bringer of divine creed. So your decent nature comes from your father, and your divine creed is taught to you by your mother. How grand, in degrees of unfoldment, can we have it? You see, so we give praises to the great God Allah for giving us the opportunity, to even know the essence of our mother and our father. And when we get into this aspect, we going back to our ancient mother and father, referred to as Ish and Isha. Ish and Isha represents spirit man and spirit woman. You see? Now, when you get into dealing with honoring your mother and your father from this special degree, this extends from the spirit plane to the plane of things made manifest. If we can honor the God self, if we can honor that higher self, because we are told in our teachings that the higher self is the human spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. And we just told you the husbandman was the one who cast the seed into the soil of soul that it may grow apace, right? So the higher self is human spirit clothed with soul. It didn't say the higher self is the spirit of a man clothed with soul. It didn't say the higher self is the spirit of a woman clothed with soul. In other words, no gender was mentioned here. It said the higher self is the human spirit clothed with soul made in the law. So that would have to refer to the God man and the God woman, because we know the higher self is also referred to as the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life. You see? So when we look at these two dynamics, human spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah, and then the higher self being the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life, and we know that's justice, mercy, love, and right. That's Ma'atic law. We understand that spirit man and spirit woman, if you want to look at it from that degree, is included in that special measure along the lines of oneness. There is no separation. There is no division there. There's only oneness. So what would Allah breed by casting his seed into the soil of soul and allowing a birth to come forth from the mothers of the virtues. What would be conceived out of that other than the God self? We want to ask that question. We are told in our teachings, Moorish kin, that in the sacred grove, the sacred school, is where one starts their lessons. We know that Mary and Elizabeth, they taught their seeds within the sacred seed, the sacred school, pardon self, what we would call the sacred grove, which is dealing with where they learn on the Elihu. They learn lessons from Matheno, according to the Moorish Holy Quran. There was also a preordainment before they came into the manifest, where they learned or they were taught or being prepared while they were within the womb of their mother. In all actuality, this is really what we call the order of Melchizedek. This is really that true Nazarite order. You see? So when you get into this special knowledge, family, what you find out is, and it talks about that in the Piscean records. We're going to go there in a minute too, because the prophet said, Moors, don't throw away your Bible because we're going to use it to condemn the European. You see? And when we say that, we talking about that thought pattern. We ain't worried about the man. We talking about the thought pattern that's in our Moorish kin. That's what we talking about condemning, getting up out of them, so that they can learn how to think for themselves and be themselves. So you got to honor your mother and your father. We ain't talking about Adam and Eve. We talking about Ish and Isha. Honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long upon the land that your Lord, your Father God Allah has given you. You see? So this sacred grove or this sacred school of learning, and star 6 your phone if you're not speaking Moorish king. This has to do with the womb preparation that brings us into the manifest. So whatever's instilled in that God woman on the manifest, so to speak, whatever lessons that have been given to that God woman, star 6 the phone of that Moor that had their line open, Moors, if you can. So whatever. It's not time for questions yet, family. This is a instruction. So star 6 your phone and you will be able to ask questions as soon as we get done. I shall do that, my Moorish brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Star 6 your phone, brother. Star 6 your phone and you'll be able to speak once I'm done. No, it's okay. You're all right. We just letting you know so we won't hear your background noise. You're all right, Moorish king. You ain't did nothing wrong. We're just trying to make sure our people can get clarity. So Islam. So again, dealing with the sacred grove, this sacred school that one comes out of, we are told in the same chapter that the goddesses are chosen mothers of long promised sons. And that doesn't exclude the daughters that will come forth, because they too will have to go the same way that a God woman who has been properly instructed or educated, because we call these holy instructions and divine, teachings and divine lessons that we have here. So when they pass these things on in this sacred grove, this lays foundation for those who will come after. In other words, this is generational wealth. The instruction, or holy instruction, has to do with generational wealth being passed on throughout the generations. You see, it has a lot to do with the maximums of truth that we are told to give to our people. You see? So once one has been properly taught, the only thing that one can do is honor the mother and the father that days may, belong upon the earthland. We also were told in the case of the sister Miriam or Mary, that the only savior of the world is love. And Yehoshua, the son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. So we see what she had the duty of bringing on the manifest. Then we see that it was stated, and you, Elizabeth, are blessed because yours is purity made flesh, and he shall pave the way for love. right? Purity made flesh. So one goddess was to bring forth a seed that would manifest love and be the all of love, and the other goddess, bringing forth his cousin, will bring forth one that would manifest as purity. Though we seen this take place over 2,000 years ago, we seen a repeat of this in the presence, in the coming of our beloved brother Marcus Mosai Garvey L., whom we call John the Harbinger of this new era in time. Our beloved brother Marcus Mosai Garvey L. came to represent purity. Our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali came as a representation of love. In their teachings, when you place them beside each other, you can see grand measures being brought on to manifest. As our beloved brother Marcus Mosai Garvey L. spoke of salvation, our God and unity. You say, no, brother, that's Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's correct. Because the one God, the one aim, and the one destiny was the salvation of God and the unity that was being referred to by our beloved brother Marcus Mosai Garvey L. And when it comes to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he was saying one God, one aim, one destiny, because again, he was the one that says salvation, our God, and unity. I'm putting these things in context so you can see what was being demonstrated. But yet it's still putting it in the proper order. One God, one aim, and one destiny was getting our people ready. This was the teaching of our beloved brother known as the Harbinger, Marcus Mosai Garvey L. He was purifying the heart and mind of our people and purging them, getting them ready to be a nation of people. And he spoke of it in his intent. He even created a provisional constitution. He knew that it wouldn't possibly unfold in his time, but he put the thought out there in the ethers. All of this was a connection and link back to our mother and our father. He was honoring our mother and our father. He understood our decent nature because he understood a people without a nationality is like a tree without roots. That's what he said. So he knew his decent nature and what decent nature entails. But it wasn't his job to bring this thing all the way into fruition. He knew his divine creed because he understood that every nation had their own creed. So he said, then we should have our own creed. Just like Muhammad, demonstrated they do, and they have Allah, and he went into all these things, but he said he wasn't a teacher of religion, so to speak. But if one was to demonstrate these things, then they should demonstrate it through the spectacles, of their own ancestors, basically. So he understood then his divine creed. So our brother was honoring his mother and his father, minus doubt, a contradiction. He knew that he was what his mother and father was yesterday without doubt and contradiction. And no man, can basically trump that. We can say, take that from him unless he believed that their power extended beyond the great God Allah himself. Marcus Mosai Garvey L. knew that. We know this by some of the things that he spoke. Read his philosophy and his opinions. You would understand when he speaks from going from organization to organization and coming into government. He had in mind the thought of building a true nation and not just remaining a UNIA, but that wasn't his job to fully unfold it, but we are saying what his intent was. Coming behind that strongly, Prophet Noble Drew Ali came on the manifest supporting his brother. And he defined again what salvation, our God, and unity is in references showing you what one God, one aim, and one destiny is. The salvation during the time of Marcus Mosai Garvey L. represented his presence among our people. Our God during that time represented the one God that he alluded to. And our unity represented the destiny or the destination that our brother was speaking of. So it was Prophet Noble Drew Ali who came forth and gave definitively and went into the essence of this special mention, honoring his mother, his ancient mother and father. Again, not Adam and Eve, but spirit man and spirit woman. You see, he came forth as salvation to the people in its whole full totality. He came forth and told you that God is Allah, and he came forth and told you that your unity is to be brought about under the uniting of the Asiatic states. And he spoke of the uniting of the Asiatic nations. Then he spoke of the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca. And that was being demonstrated by taking these measures that we brought forth from his Egyptian adept affiliation. Because we know all teachings come out of Kemet. Every teaching that we have derived from Kemet. That is the essence of the Atendis or the sun disk, which has become a grand expression of what we call monotheism. All of those rays reaching down, you hear me say it all the time, represented the light that came to all of the nations. But yet this light is synonymous with that spiritual sun, and at the end of that sun ray, there were hands. And I have to emphasize that the hand is symbolic to the mind, family. So these are masterminds coming forth with teachings of divine guidance. And out of those rays, and that hand reaching out from on high to pull us up into divinity, because wisdom speak from out of the highest plane of spirit life. You see, and those who hear become wise. You see, in this case, the harbinger and our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali being Yahushua will come again, Emmanuel. Emmanuel simply meaning God with us. Both of these brothers manifested represented a ray of light reaching down to our people to pull them up. And like I said again, brother Noble Drew Ali supported the works of his, we'll say, cousin in truth, so to speak, brother Marcus Mosai Garvey L. They hand in hand, and you can't get away with that. And our brother Marcus Garvey was even deemed, with the degree of prophethood. If you go into certain histories of him, in the Holy Pibby, that you hear a lot of our family coming out of the islands demonstrating. They refer to our brother as a prophet. You see? So that ain't surprising to us. But there's a grand measure when we talk about this holy covenant of the Asiatic nation that we want our people to see. And we're going to get into that in a minute. We want to emphasize some things, though. We are told in the holy covenant of the Asiatic nation that we are children of one father. Because if you just talked about the uniting of the Asiatic nations, Asiatic states, just as Muhammad ibn Abdullah of 1400 years ago was the founder of the uniting of Islam, according to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said he was the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Science Temple, a lawfully chartered organization at the time. The only difference is he didn't mean for us to stay there, because just as Marcus Mosai Garvey L spoke of us going from organization to organization until we come into government, Prophet Noble Drew Ali himself stated, Moors, I'm going to lead a European here long enough to teach you Moors how to run a government. So everything that took place under the lawfully chartered organization known as the Moorish Science Temple was a temporary drawing to teach us how to be citizens where we were at that time. And he used the amendment of dealing with religious freedom, to let our Moorish kin basically get that drawing. He was preparing a table for us in the very presence of the enemy. He was preparing a table for us, family. Think of that. Because that's what he had to work with during that time, but his intent was to leave the European here long enough to teach the Moors how to run a government. And the European has been here long enough and has taught us well. When it comes to running a government, they taught us what not to do. They taught us, you know, the opposition that's going against love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So now that we have that knowledge and we learned it well, it is for us to live and establish ourselves based upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It's not a crime to be yourself. We ain't starting no wars. We ain't dealing with trying to bring no harm to nobody. So there's no man on this planet that can try to put you in a position of being wrong for trying to build a nation. Because they tell you in their constitution that you just property. So rather than trying to change what it is that they have, Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought you your own divine constitution. And while we were in that state, referred to as members at the time, we was unfolding, because remember, the seed is planted in the soil of the soul and it grows apace. The husbandman cast the seed. Prophet Noble Drew Ali cast his seed and it began to grow apace. And we give honors to him for working from the plane of soul like he said he would, because he said there the enemy can't hide. He was able to reach again from on high. That's that ray coming from that sun of divinity into the mind of our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acton, Pert M. Heru Tutankhamun Bey, the nearest place that we can meet it. He was able to reach from on high and put within the heart and mind of our Grand National Chairman what was necessary, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding what is necessary for making us a nation of people. He placed an impression of the Grand National Seal of Moorish America right there. Just as the great God Allah breathed forth the seven Elohim in the beginning, this is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali did. He ain't dead. He's still on the manifest, because he said he would be on the manifest, working from the plane of soul. And if you know anything about tapping into the spirit of the ancestors, as our ancestors teach in ancient Africa, then you know that this is not something that's outlandish. You know that we can reach Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Even though we on the plane of things made manifest, we know that the Grand Quran of Muhammad even states, do not say of those who are slain in the way of Allah that they are dead. No, they live on, though you perceive it not. That's what Allah said in the Quran. So Prophet Noble Drew Ali ain't dead. He's working from the plane of soul. So if he's working from the plane of soul, and he placed this vision, a grand vision, we was talking about that vision yesterday. He placed within the heart and mind of our chairman the vision of a grand national seal, the vision of a national flag, the vision of a divine constitution and bylaw, grand national emblem. These things didn't take place by chance, because the prophet said by the time he tell you that he is going to do a thing, he had already done it. So that's where the Moorish American government come from, for those who have questions. It's all about self-determination. Now, are you about nation building, or are you about the destruction of yourself and the destruction of your people? Ask yourself that question. And I'm talking to the naysayers now. You see? So we want to emphasize, and we're going to harp on this measure, because we want to make sure that our family know exactly where we're coming from when we speak as we speak. So if Prophet Noble Drew Ali is still working from the plane of soul, and we can see this in the Moorish Holy Quran, because it tells you if he is Yehoshua come again, and it tells you that Yehoshua in his pastime, family, when he went into the realm of unmanifest and he taught, he sat in the council of those who sat on high. This exalted council mentioned in the Grand Quran as well. The exalted assembly is what they refer to him as. See, this is the ancestral realm. Let's talk straight to our people. You see, we are today what our ancient mothers and fathers were yesterday, minus doubt or contradiction. We are the return of the ancient ones. We are the ones whom we have been awaiting for so long to come and get this job done. Ain't nobody else gonna do it but us, Moorish. So all of the talents that you have, all of the divinity that you have in you, because it's in you. We know it's in you because no matter how much our people have been oppressed, no matter how much our people have been held back, no matter how many obstacles have been placed in front of us, for some reason, still we rise. For some reason, we have come forth, like our brother Tupac would say, like a rose from the concrete. We still have come forth, though having damaged petals. We come forth and we on the manifest, Moorish kin. So when we say honor thy mother and thy father, for this is the holy covenant of the Asiatic nations, it makes sense now, don't it? It makes sense now, don't it? It says, ye are the children of one father provided for by his care, and the breasts of one mother have given you suck. The breasts of one mother have given you suck. So what do you think this means? It's even science in regards to dealing with that. Because we know that the breast milk itself goes through degrees. You see, as far as how nutrients are put out there. You know, in the beginning stages dealing with the colostrum, you know, this is where the most potency is. And by the time you get to, you know, 7 days in the stages of this demonstration unfolding, now you have a maximum, you know, output of the nutrients that are needed to sustain and build the body of the seed. This is science. Everything that deal with what we are and how we made has to do with science. So that God man, Ish and Isha, that is working in spirit, at level of spirit, molding and shaping you. This is a personification of the Moorish square in a compass, not a Masonic square and compass. But we are using these as special tools. And these tools are being used within the workshop of our mind where thought is used to build character. So spirit man and spirit woman are the true builders of the temple of perfected man. We are made of that material. We have the necessary technology in the essence of our being to become great as we may. I keep emphasizing this. If our ancestors did it in the past, we can do better in the present. We still marveling over what they've done in the past. We so caught up in it to where we can't do nothing in the present. Our brother Yehoshua, even in the Piscean records, in the Bible, it said that he said, greater works will you be able to do. But we so caught up, oh, he raised the dead. Well, Elijah raised the dead too, but you ain't worshiping him. He raised the dead before Yehoshua did. It was other people that demonstrated mighty works. Moses, splitting the Red Sea, you know, all of these things that they talk about. You see? But you don't see people putting the emphasis on that. But we know why our people ended up getting caught up in the works of our brother Yehoshua, because it was designed that way. To have us worshiping one outside of ourselves, while in the book he's telling you, and he fled from people that tried to put him on a pedestal. You know, but nevertheless, he told you basically you can do greater works. So we have been caught in limbo because we know not who we are. We don't know ourselves and our Father God Allah. If our mothers are chosen mothers of long promised sons and daughters, then this means that your destiny is already written for you, more. This means that everything that you need is already in you. You are not a have-not nation. I don't care how it looks. I don't care what somebody else said to you. I don't care what they call you. I don't care how many times they call you nigger, negro, slave, property. It ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. Islam. So we understand, just as there are stages when you deal with the physical aspects of breast milk coming from the mother, it is a grander drawing when it comes to the spiritual sustenance that comes from the mother. Our Moorish Holy Quran says she is immortal. It says she is unchangeable. It says she is alike in all. You see, health calleth her forth to show her loveliness, and application anoint her with oil and wisdom. And that's what you are feeding from. You see, you are feeding from the nectar of wisdom. You see? And that's facts. Wisdom itself is characterized as she in her in our Moorish Holy Quran. Although she shall live after thee, think not that she was born before thee. She was created with thy flesh and formed with thy brain. Because we are told that the soul is within the brain in our teaching. We are told that wisdom is in the same place. So when it says wisdom speak from out of the highest plane of spirit life, this has to do with what sustains you, what is above your neck. What are the actions of the soul? Thinking, willing, reason, and understanding, remembrance. Where else can you place those type of qualities? You can't place them in your genitalia. Ain't no thinking going on there. You can't place them in their other portion in the body and it makes sense. None of those things have the ability to think, will, reason, understand, and remember. The thinking takes place in the apparatus from whence the thought derives. And that's why we are thoughts of the great God Allah made manifest. You see, this is a powerful drawing, Moorish King. So when we say, honor thy mother and thy father, for this is the holy covenant of the Asiatic nations, that's a powerful measure when you look at it. It ain't just some simple philosophical statement. There's a lot of credence to that special statement, family. Now, for those that are here, that are listening to me right now, those that are listening right now, family, and we want to give honors to you. We see the numbers out there, everybody that's paying attention to us. We want to give honors to our audience out there, those who have joined, you know, as we return back to the board. Brother Abyss, we give honors to you. Brother Jay, we give honors to you. And again, we look forward to some of y'all family and hearing from y'all. Brother Bati Bay, Brother SAW, we give honors to you. You know, our brother Ray Sean Irvin, we also give honors to you, brother. You know, we give honors to all of our family that's tuning in. But when you go into this special draw, we're going to show you some things. We're going to show you some things that people have been talking about for years. Like I said, Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, don't throw away your Bible. He said, because it's going to be used to condemn the European. And we contend that this is referring to, again now, we are saying that this is referring to, again, that European thought pattern that is within us. You see? That's what we're talking about, family. So we're not here to browbeat you with religion. We want to make that plain as well. We are only speaking from this special level because we want to see where our people are along the way. And we know where some of them are along the way. And so we are speaking to them in their language. That's why we're giving you the reality of God, not a God outside of the self, because we don't serve gods outside of the self. The God that we serve is at the essence of our being. Every spiritual or religious teaching, especially coming from Africa, has always taught that God is within. And that is the essence of Moorish science, the study of the self. Remember, our science is a living manifestation. You see, when we talk about Moorish science, we're talking about a power that exerts itself for the will of the user. You see what I'm saying? So making these things applicable to the self is where you will find the true essence of the science of life. And that's what we're giving you now. Again, don't get this twisted with religion, family. Don't get this twisted with Bible thumping and just some preaching that we up here demonstrating, because that's not the measure. We're talking about the science of life and how we work, how we are built, how we are made. You see? So let me go into the depths of this. And I want to share my screen. Again, we're going to do what the prophet said. He said, don't throw your Piscean record away, your Bible away, because we're going to use it to condemn that European, and we can condemn that thought pattern that our people got in them. Being Oreos out here. Melanated on the outside, and well, you already know what's on the inside. You ain't got no business eating that type of food anyway, because it's just plain poison. That's what Prophet Noble Ali said. So let me go up into this special demonstration and share my screen for those who are viewing. And those who ain't seeing it, they're going to get a draw until you'll still get some insight. So in the Piscean records, because we still talking about that holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. We ain't forgot about that now. In the book of 1 Peter 2, you know, we know a lot of our people, this their language. They can understand better when we come from here. Again, we ain't going religious on you. We finna bring this thing alive. It says, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and all hypocrisies, right? We can say all hypocrisies too. And envies and evil speakings, right? It says, as newborn babies desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby, right? It says, if so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious, to whom coming as unto a living stone. Now notice that, because all of us are stones in the building of the temple of perfection, even though we are temples of perfection unto ourselves. But he's speaking of coming unto a living stone disallowed indeed by men, or of men. Is that not referring to us? Were we not disallowed? Were we not the same stone that the builders rejected? Well, guess what? You can't complete the structure without the Moors being at the head. That's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. You can't even complete the structure. So for all y'all that love that money and that dollar bill, when you see that incomplete structure there, it's incomplete because the Moors ain't been placed there at the head yet. The capstone haven't been placed there. And when you place the capstone there, the weight of this nation will grind that special demonstration of powder. So all there will be is the capstone. It's 72 stones in that pyramid on that dollar bill. And all that has to do is dealing with the controlling unknown. Because it was also 72 different genes that came forth to control a people at a time. There's some history tied there. You see? Oh, we're going to give it to you tonight. We're going to make it plain. So it said, to whom coming as unto a living stone disallowed indeed of men. They said you was property. They said that you was Negro. They say you was a colored man, black man, and all types of measures, right? And these titles are the very titles that restricted your movement. This is why we know good and well ain't no such thing as a Negro being free, ancient, and accepted in no European secret society. Because even there you got to be white. Even there you got to be 21 years of age. And if you're over 21, they still call you boy. So you can say you free, ancient, and accepted, but if you have not been accepted by your Moorish American nation, if you have not proclaimed yourself, your nationality, I don't care what you call yourself. You can call yourself Moorish American. You can call yourself Hebrew. You can call yourself NOI, 5%, RBG. You can call yourself any of those titles. But if you are not under your one free national and you have not proclaimed yourself as a people, you still a slave. You still property. And that ain't saying that to attack these groups. So don't get in your feelings. I'm saying if we don't come together as one, we gonna die. And when I say die, I ain't talking about die just one time. I'm talking about going basically, in other words, we're gonna die off as a people if we don't unite as a people. We're gonna be wiped from the planet of the earth. Our descendants after us will be going to, because it said that since you have rejected knowledge, then I will reject you and your seed after you. That's what it say. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, since you have rejected knowledge. So the problem is the rejection of knowledge. So not only have we been disallowed by the slave maker, slave breaker, slave catcher, slave holder, but we have been disallowed by ourselves. We have become those who have begun to cancel themselves out. So we ain't got to worry about nobody else canceling us out. We have begun to cancel ourselves out, and we are participating in cancel culture and don't even know it. Disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of God. See, that's what they didn't know. See, they said that we will be in bondage and chains forever and a day. They say, who is able to make these dry bones live again? You know, we done killed them all. They out of there. They'll never come out that condition. Who is able to make them live? You see? Disallowed of men, but chosen of God, and precious is what we are told. It says, yea, also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices accepted to God. And it uses the term here by Jesus Christ. That's what they normally say, right? Well, who is Yehoshua? Because we know the name Jesus came from the West. We know that ain't his name. So we ain't going to even play that type of game. It's also a difference between Jesus and the Christ. So we talking about by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Yehoshua will come again. That's who your spiritual sacrifices become acceptable to. By, you see, the God within, Allah Ali within you, Allah Ali within me, Allah Ali within us. So your sacrifices that you make, giving up that Negro black colored thought pattern, giving up that old you, they become acceptable to the great God, Allah. And this comes through Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And we ain't here to worship Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We just talking about that one that came to manifest the same spirit, coming 5 times powerful than all of those who came before. It says, wherefore, also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious. But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. And a stone of stumbling, and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient. Whereunto also they were appointed. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. Now you know what that holy covenant of the Asiatic nation really means. A peculiar people, that ye should show forth praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people. You wasn't considered people under the European Constitution. You was considered a person. We the people didn't apply to you. You was considered all other persons' property. Look it up in Black's law. You was civiliter mortus. You was dead in the letter of the law. You was a vagrant. The same thing that's being referred to in the Piscean records as a vagabond. And under vagrant laws, you can get locked up just for being poor, just for not being able to sustain yourself. That was a crime. And most of our people broke as a joke right now. That's a crime too, in this new era in time. And in most cases, if we ignorant, it leads to more crime. And so we begin to feed the system in this same beast that has been oppressing us, for the longest. We're just telling you the truth. You see? So it says, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. You see? That's us, Moorish kin. We have obtained mercy. But have we accepted mercy? Have we forgiven ourselves? That's the question that we have to ask. Because most of our people don't believe that we can be a nation. They like to romanticize about a nation. They like to talk about a nation, but they have no clue what it takes to manifest nationhood. Especially if they don't come up here in this Moorish American government and embrace salvation, our God, and unity, and embrace this holy covenant that we're talking about. The children of one father and mother. You see? Where are you nurturing yourself from? Where's your nourishment coming from, family? Because we know that even when it comes to a goddess bringing life on the manifest, she has to have a temple pure. Because if the temple is not pure, she can feed toxins to that seed. And this doesn't have to do with physical things. This goes into the consciousness of the goddess. If she is not rooted in divinity, if she is not rooted in a knowledge of herself, she will pass this thing on. And this is what a quote unquote generational curse comes into play. We begin to breed that hatred, that slander, that lewdness, that murder, and everything that harms. We ain't saying that this is what is intended, but this is the nature. Science proves this. That's why we don't just go out and shouldn't be laying down, all willy-nilly all over the place, as some of our people down here say, going all over the place, jumping from limb to limb. In ancient time, they planned birth. In ancient time, not only did they plan birth, but when the seed came on the manifest, it was also determined what ancestor, that this seed came to embody. What ancestor that this seed came, to basically bring back to the manifest in their works. So in Kemet, they will place the seed before monuments. In Africa, different places, they will lift the seed to the sun and say, is this the one? That's what they would do. Therefore, purpose was already there. So the body was clean. The body was pure. The goddess was eating clean. She was eating pure. She wasn't eating swine. So she wasn't thinking like a swine. She wasn't drinking alcohol. So she wasn't putting alcohol in the lineage or the blood of the seed. She wasn't doing crack cocaine or powder cocaine or any type of drug of any sort. So these things wasn't a part of the bloodline at that time. But now there are things that go even further more than these types of things we mentioned. The doctrine that was placed in the seed had an effect on how the seed would unfold and how the seed would grow apace. The seed is as perfect as the source from whence it comes. We don't come here doing the things that we learned over here in the West. We are taught those things. You see? I want to give you another measure because I'm getting ready to open up the floor in a minute. Because we want to hear from our family. We don't want to be too long, but we want to make sure our people get it. We want to make it plain and honest to all of our people that's listening to us, right? So I want to give you another screen sharing here, and I'm actually coming from, I got it open right here. This is coming from, Quran.com. In the Holy Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. It tells us in Surah 7, and Surah 7 is referred to as the heights, Al-Araf. It ain't strange because we're talking about wisdom speaking from out of the highest plane of spirit life, wisdom being our gross national product, wisdom also being synonymous with that divine goddess Isha. You see? And the knowledge in linked with that right there, we already know that deal with the husbandman. You see? That's that God man. That's knowledge. And understanding is birthed from knowledge and wisdom. You see? Honors to the nation of gods and earth, our brothers and sisters who demonstrated those measures. You see, so we are told here, and remember when we raised the mountain over them as if it were a cloud, and they thought it would fall on them. And we said, hold firmly to that scripture which we had given you and observe its teachings, so perhaps you would become mindful of Allah. Right? This is dealing with the heights. Every surah in the Grand Quran, family, if it's called the heights, then somewhere in the surah, it is going to speak of the heights. So I'm giving you the core or the heartbeat of this particular surah right now. And every surah, all 114, has a particular core heart that's mentioned. So whatever that surah is called, the grand measure has to do with, a particular portion in that surah. Just like we say in Surah 24, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. Well, the key elements of the light being, in the heavens and the earth, the light is in the heart and mind of the people. The heavens above the neck, the body, you see, being the earth. But nevertheless, light is the emphasis there. And it speaks on a parable of that light. So just like it does there, and that's the heart of Surah 24, ayahs 35 and 36. Right here in this Surah 7, ayats 71 to 72 and 73, they also go into that as well. It says, and remember when your Lord had brought forth from the loins of the children of Adam and their descendants, and had them testify regarding themselves. Allah asked, am I not your Lord? And they replied, yes, you are. We testify. And he cautioned, now you have no right to say on the day of judgment, we were not aware of this. You know what this is saying, right? Remember I was talking to you about that sacred grove and being taught within the womb of your mother and father? And I referred to this as the order of Melchizedek because it tells you that Abraham met Melchizedek while he was still in the loins of his father. Now, here's a teaching in the Grand Quran telling you when the seeds of Adam was still in his loins, before they ever manifested, it was already preordained. That knowledge had already been placed that Allah was their God. That's why the first question we ask in the teachings of Moorish America when it comes to the 101s is, who made you? And the answer is Allah. Who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Can you see him? No. Where's the nearest place you can meet him? In the heart. Right? Because this is instinctively in us. This is what we call fitra. This is our natural disposition, often referred to as taqwa. being upright. You hear us talk about being upright, independent, and fearless. It's our nature. It's a part of our divine constitution to be upright as a people. We have never been a faithless people all across the globe, regardless of what teaching we demonstrate. We have never been a people that were faithless. We have never been an atheistic people. We learned those teachings from the West. And all that simply means is that you are denying the favors of the Creator, the great God, for allowing you to come forth, and you are ungrateful. So when you hear people say, I don't believe in God, you don't believe in yourself. Because we're not talking about a God outside of the self. You don't believe in yourself. That's what you're saying. And if you don't believe in yourself, try accomplishing anything with that type of mind state. Try making anything happen while you don't believe in yourself, and see how far you get. We're giving you the reality of God. We're not talking to you about a spook somewhere out there in the space. We're talking about God in the essence of your being, family. That's why you must honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long. Because through that spiritual lineage comes the knowledge of God, the wisdom of God, the understanding of God, and God power. Anything you choose to manifest, you can manifest. Islam, that's what we talking about. So nevertheless, it's already been instilled in us. It's already been instilled in us. And like he said, he brought us forth before we became manifest, and say, am I not your Lord? Yeah, we is. You see, now you have no right to say on Judgment Day, we were unaware of this. And Judgment Day, in all actuality, is every day you wake up. Every day you wake up is a day of judgment, whether we know it or not. It say that your 5 limbs will bear witness against you on the day of judgment. That's arm, leg, arm, head. That's you. Your ways, acts, and deeds will testify against you. When you are long gone and you off the plane of things made manifest, what would they say? What would the young and not yet born, the 3rd and the 4th generation, say about your ways, your acts, and your deeds, your life works? How would they speak of you? How would they benefit from what you demonstrated? Ask yourself that question. You see, it says, nor say it was our forefathers who had associated others with Allah and worship, and we as their descendants followed in their footsteps. Will you then destroy us from the falsehood they invented? You see? And then it says, this is how we made our signs clear. I make our signs clear so perhaps they will return to the right path. You see? But you can't go back and say, oh, it was my daddy. You know, you can't blame it on your mommy and your daddy. You can't blame it on nobody outside yourself. Just like Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, he said, I came to take away all excuses. You see? So those excuses have already been taken away. And most of them among our people will be lying anyway if they tried to put it on their mom and their daddy, or those who came before them, because they don't listen to them anyway. One give them guidance, they don't listen to that. So how they gonna go back and then lie and say it was our ancestors before us that did wrong? You gonna destroy us for the falsehood they invented? You didn't listen to what they said, so how you gonna lie and say that you followed in their footsteps and you was only doing what they taught you? See what I'm saying? Honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days may be long upon the earth land that the Lord thy God Allah has given thee. Remember, when it say my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, it said, since you have rejected knowledge, I will reject you and your seed after you, and reject you from being a priest for me. Now, we just showed you who the royal priesthood is. You see, so either you're going to be part and partial of this unity and coming together as one nation of people, or you will be found outside in the cold when all hell break loose, you know, as it has already, and these things become manifest, Moorish kin. I'm saying all these things because I love you. I'm your brother. I don't care what school of thought or where you come from, what you say you are, what you represent. We as a people have to come together as one and utilize the talents that we have, or the worst is yet to come. I'm just conveying the message. That's all. So we are making a plea to our people to come into the knowledge of self, come into self-mastery, uplift yourself from the condition, you know, that you have fell into. Come into your own science. Come into the reality of what it means to build a nation. Use your God power that you have in you to build a greater Moorish America. You see? And then we can truly be free as a people. You know, Allah is indeed leading on and victory is sure. So what I want to do right now, you know, is I want to open up the floor for our family and just give honors to our Moorish kin, you know, and just say gratitude for all of you who have showed up for this particular call. Anything that I may have said, you know, that one may have taken offense to, it's not my intent to offend you. You know, we speak from a level of the love of our people and knowing the dire need of us being together as one. You know, having a clear conception of what it means to truly be united. This is what we are speaking, you know, and this is special level of vibration, not a level of division, divide and conquer. That's not where we're coming from. So anything that I may have said that may have been offensive, I ask of your forgiveness. Anything that I may have said that uplifted you, I don't take credit for that. I give praises to the great God Allah, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I just spazzed out. And whatever I just said, I didn't say it because it was a script that I wrote. I said it because that's what the spirit drove me to say. And somebody had to hear it. It was meant for somebody to get a drawing off that demonstration. You see? So if you know what we said to be the truth, then all you have to do is be the truth, family, because the truth will make us free. The truth will make us a nation that is unbreakable, unshakable, undivided. You see? That's where we at with it, family. Unity is key. So what I'm going to do at this time, I got both of these platforms open. So we're going to call 4-5 family. We know we got Brother Marvin Edwards Bay up here on the panel with us. Sister 4L, we got Sister Carter Bay. Let me scroll down because I see some more Moors there as well. So we're going to make room for each other. Let me see who else over there. We got Sister Bonnie Thompson Bay and the brother Douglas Nelson Bay there too. You know, so what we're going to do is open up the floor for our Moorish kin, you know, and we hear from our family on the conference call, you know, so we start there first. And if one of our people on the conference call is on this board, you know, just remember to mute yourself out so it don't bleed through, you know, your phone line. And then just speak, and then I'll let your audio come through here on my side. So at this time, we're going to open up the floor to our family. So if there's any more that would like to come forward, *6 your phone. Islam, brother, Sincere Bay.
Yes, sir. It is our gratitude, National Assistant Grand Chief, for allowing me to speak on the floor. Again, I give all praises to Allah and honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, El Hasharif Abdul Ali. I give honors to our Moorish American government, our officials, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and most especially our citizens. Yeah, this is a beautiful topic, And it couldn't be a better honor our father and our mother, that our days be long upon the earth land which the Lord thy God Allah has given thee. That's the holy covenant, you know, and that is, you know, we speak of the universal law of knowing that honoring our Father, the great God who created us, is number one. The prophet always taught us, you know thyself and thy Father God Allah. And so we know that our consciousness is above our neck, and we know even when we go into the unity of our nation and what we suffered, you know, honoring that the right to that soil, the right to that soil. We were born here, and then the right to our bloodline. You know, we're descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabit the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. You know what I mean? This is synonymous. And every nation has suffered because they didn't honor the principles of their forefathers and their foremothers and strayed after the God of Europe, of whom they knew nothing. We know that's how we, as a nation of people, suffered. You know what I mean? Our principles are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You know what I mean? And our prophet teaches us. He teaches us hatred, slander, looting, and murder and theft. That's of the lower self. You draw. So honoring our father and our mother, we got this. We stay to the protocol of our prophet. We draw, and we make. And if anything is in error, we make a speedy reparation. I give praise to Allah that the honor that we honor in honoring the father and our mother. That's supreme righteousness, because we know what to do and what not to do. It's in our spirit, and that's why when we go into the silence of ourselves, and that spirit, that's 100% correct. And the more that we listen to that, the more we become one with that. That's the Father God. That's the Creator of the universe in us. But the prophet teaches us where's the nearest place to meet him, in the heart. And so when we draw off the mother being the son, we give praises to that, and we give praises to Allah, honor to the prophet for that, because that's the land to what Moorish America, for which we born here. We ain't got to run back and talk about run back nowhere. We here, and that's why the prophet said he gave us something that we can shout about. He said the third or fourth generation that she's good at her work. That's us work. Third and fourth. That's us. We got to, we watch me take our nationality and our divine creed. That's mother and father all day long. And the prophet gave it to us, even the babies understand. He said children is just plain rich. So, just honoring, being able to have a nation, to being able to say, wait, hold on. No, I'm not Negro, black, color. No, I got a nationality, and I got a government, I got a flag, I got enzymes, I got emblems, I got officials of my government. Most importantly, I got my own God, Allah, the great God of the universe, and my prophet Noble Ali, who came kicking over the tombstones of Negro, black, and colored. So, with that being said, nationality is the order of the day. Nationality matters. Gratitude for allowing me to speak. Peace.
In Islam, brother, sincere Bay, we give honors to you and gratitude for this measure that you demonstrate. I want to address some questions that our family have here. Our brother Tony Chiba, he said, I've only read the Holy Quran, Moorish Holy Temple of Science once. What chapter should I be focused on from the divine instructions of the noble prophet? I have my Holy Quran in front of me. Well, in this special case, brother, we're dealing with chapter 25, brother Tony, the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic nations. That's what we're drawing from. And just like we showed you, even in the Grand Quran, Surah 7, 2 and 5 is 7. There are no strange happenings. But, in Surah 7, the heights, We showed you that there was a covenant made between Allah and man before we came into the physical plane of things made manifest. We made a covenant with the Creator before we got here. That's why it ain't in our nature to be disbelievers and people that don't know the God within them. Again, we're not talking about some spookism outside of the self. You know, there's a covenant that we made before we came into the plane of things made manifest. You know, so this holy covenant of Asiatic nation, you know, is a reference to that. Every text, every book, you know, that he sent is also a part of that covenant, my brother. And also our beloved brother Tory Bolton said, "I've never been to a Moorish Science Temple, brother Commission. When you enter, what is it that you do? I'm used to going to a mosque." But first and foremost, brother, I give you a grand drawing with that. You know, the Moorish Science Temple was a lawfully chartered organization. You know, we are the Moorish American government. You know, nothing against those brothers and sisters, but we have unfolded into the supreme laws. You know, you are here to build a temple of perfected man. You are the temple. You see, you are Moorish, and the science is in you. You see, if anything, you know, you are the temple of the great God Allah. You know, so even in al-Islam, when you go into the teachings of Sufism, Tasawwuf is what the Orthodox Muslims call it. You know, the mosque, the true mosque, Masjid al-Haram, is man himself when he comes into a consciousness of that. You know, so the only thing that you have to do, my brother, is embrace the reality of the Allah within you. Because Allah said that he was going to breathe into man of his ruin. That was called Ru'Allah. You see, when we get to knowing that, oh man, we can't go wrong. You know, and so we give honors to that. Also, okay, our brother said here, I think I found it, correct me if I'm wrong, chapter 24, obedience of the children toward their father. Am I right? You know, yeah, you moving on the right track. You know, that deals with we also go into our social duties and everything. You know, the main thing when we talk about the children being obedient to their father, though, is going back in the chapter 25, the breast of one mother have given you suck. We can put it in that aspect. But we also have a chapter dealing with social duties where we have instructions, you know, for the young men and the young women and so forth and so on. We'll go into that in a few minutes as well. It depends on what order you have your Moorish Holy Quran in as well. You know, and one last measure, our brother said, honor thy mother and thy father is deep, a deep topic. We have to save our youth. Some of our children don't have a mother and a father, or have one and not the other. Those are the souls that need saving. They may not have a physical mother and father, that is true. They may have passed on to sail on the plane of smoother seas, but they do have their Father God Allah, and they do have their spiritual mother. You see, because Ish and Isha, spirit mother and spirit father, you know, they don't die. You see, there is no death for the spirit mother and spirit father, just as there is no death for your nationality and divine creed if you honor it. But honors for these questions, family. And also Sphinx Son, we want to give honors to you too. Gratitude, family, for your measure. Brother Adrian Johnson, all you family that have tuned in. I'm going to put the link in here so that you all can cam up as well. But is there any other more on the conference call line that would like to come forth and give their measure? Islam? Islam, Brother Marvin Edwards Bay.
Oh, gratitude for calling me National Assistant Grand Chief. Yes, I am Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, Consul General of the Texas Consulate, rising, giving all praises to the great God Allah, giving highest honor to his prophet, our prophet, Noble Drawley, I give high honor to our theocratic government, our Moorish American government. I give high honor to Act 1. I give high honor to all of our officials. I give high honor to this class, our Moorish Prospectus class, as well as I give honor to you, Dr. Shedu Wemiti Al Muhammad Shetuel, for hosting our Moorish Prospectus class. class, as well as I give honors to all those that aided in bringing forth our class this evening, as well as I give honors to everything that's Moorish, our flag, our seal, our emblem, our divine constitution, our holy Quran, our book of Ali, our 101, 102s, our exhuman of a nation, all of our divine revelation I give honor. I give honor to the forerunner, Dr. Marcus Moshe Garvey, as well as I give honors to the forerunner. Pardon if I said that. I give honors to our ancestors, whom shoulders we stand upon. Yeah, this is a very powerful class. And what I wanted to do basically is just give honors to your lesson, because this holy covenant of the Asiatic nation, I mean, you brought it forth so plainly. You know what I mean? The more let's talk about the science. This is the science. You know what I mean? Because we know that the great God Allah threw forth his seed, you know what I mean, into the soil of soul. This is the father and the mother, you know, and soul, you know, and its soul actions, you know, our thinking, our reasoning. So when we get to this honoring what the great God gave us and recognizing who made us, Allah, and recognizing who is Allah, the Father of the universe, and recognizing, can we see him? No. And recognizing where is the nearest place we can meet him? That's in the heart. This is the mind. The heart is indicative of the mind. We're not talking about this physical pump that's within us, pumping the blood, although it has its purpose, its significance. But yeah, so as we focus on this science, you know what I mean, that which gives us, you know, life, that which sustains us, is the substance as well as the source. You know what I mean? This holy covenant. And that's why it is put here in our holy Quran, so that we can know what it is that we are supposed to be about to. You can't hear me? Or they can't hear me? They can't hear me?
It may be, yeah, he said he can't hear you, Grand Man, so maybe you want to unmute your mic.
Yeah, I did. Can you hear me now?
Islam.
Islam, yeah. So basically, like I was saying, you brought forth.
You say he still can't hear you, brother Elvis Bay. Is your audio connecting to your TV like it did the other day, brother? You think that might be a problem?
Well, I mean, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you now on both lines, but you know,
okay. Can you hear me now?
Islam.
Okay, I think I had muted it. You know, to make sure I didn't cause any disruption. Okay, well, yeah, basically, you know what I mean? I'm not going to go into a long, drawn-out demonstration now, but I just wanted to focus on that holy covenant, you know what I mean, that you brought forth. You know, that this is where the science is. You know what I mean? When we take, you know, when we take account that the great God Allah put forth himself in us. You know what I mean? As we know that we are created in the image and the likeness of the great God Allah. You know, this is our higher self, which dwells, you know, through our soul. And you know that the actions of the soul are thinking, our reasoning, our willing, our understanding, and our remembrance. These are the tools that we use. And when we honor this, we honor our mother. We honor our father who put forth his seed in us. We are created as a seed. And as we study the self, and as we take these lessons that the prophet brought forth to us, you know what I mean, we will grow like a plant. And so this is where, you know, that sign is. And this is what I wanted to share. Gratitude for allowing me to speak. Islam and peace.
Yes, sir. And gratitude for the measure that you brought on the manifest, Grand Man. You know, we want to give honors to you for everything it is that you brought forth. And we give honors to the love thought, brother. Very powerful measure. Praise be to Allah. All right. Islamism. Is there any other more that would like to come forth and give their mention?
Islam.
Islam, Sister Curtis Bay.
Islam. Dr. Dendra Lee Kurtabay. First, let me rise and give praises to the great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials. I give honors to you, National Assistant Grand Sheik, for this wonderful, wonderful class tonight. And I'll be brief due to time, and I hope everybody can hear me. But we talked about honor thy mother and thy father, and I tell you, this was just such a grand measure that you have brought forth. And I was busy trying to share this all on my Facebook because I want everybody to hear this truth that you were talking about. And I just want to I concur with what my Moorish kin has said before me, and I just would like to add when you was talking about us as being the mother, when you was talking about us being a pure mothers bringing children into this manifestation. You talked about how our ancestors, they just didn't have children. They went through a ritual, a process to have children. And when I was thinking about that, this teaching was taken away from us. And we come in when by the time I got here, we didn't even have a clue about none of these teachings that our ancestors taught us because it was taken away from us. But that's why we are here, this Moorish American government. And I thank the great God Allah for you for getting out here on this Facebook. And I know we live, and I know the great God Allah gonna bring the people to this call, to this recording and everything who need to hear it. Because the things that you said tonight, our people need to hear that. That's why we're here, to get this good news of this gospel out to our people, because they don't know. I didn't know when I was coming up, but praise the great God Allah that we're putting it out there. Like I say, I'm sharing, and family, share this on your Facebook. Share this. I mean, I'm just hitting that share button because I want them to hear this grand teaching, and to the family out there who who are live listening to us, come on home to your Moorish American government and get these grand teachings and learn about how we really supposed to be. Learn how to be a true God and goddess. And I'm gonna close my beat right there because I know we got other family members who want to share, and that those questions that coming forth. Send your questions in, family, because our National Assistant Grand Sheik, he's right there to answer them. He see them and you can send your questions on in. So gratitude, God, man, for letting me share. You got me fired up over here. Islam.
And Islamism, goddess and queen, we give honors to you for all that you do. One band, one sound. See, that's how it is up here, family. We on one realm of thought. We demonstrating the same way because thought is the cause of it all. Just as thought is the cause of our rise, thought is also the cause of our fall if we ain't careful again. You see? So we encourage our family, because one of the things we would ask is there unanimous will among our people to be free? And that's what we're trying to inspire right now, unanimous will. We don't care what your school of thought is. We don't care, where you come from or what you call yourself. We just want our people to come home and be one, family. Let's build a nation. We don't philosophize, and went back and forth over information enough. What are you building? See, that's going to be the question that the young generation going to be asking. You see? So, Islam, is there any other more that would like to come forward? I think I heard a more on the conference call trying to get in there. Who was that Moorish brother? And speak loudly, brother, so that the family can hear your audio reach the computer as well. Islam, brother.
Islam, this divine minister, Dr. Wahid Ali Shabazz, from the California territory. First, I rise and give all praise to Allah, Father God Allah. I give honors to Noble Joe Ali, probably at the time. I give honors to the Moorish American government officials. I give honors to all the Moorish in this country called here, there, and everywhere. I give honors to you, Grand National Assistant Chairman, for everything that you do and continue to do. Allah honors you, I honors you, and the Moorish American government honors you for everything that you do. Honor our mother and father is really what we should all think about doing. Our mother and father is the one that gave us life alone, that Allah blessed us with our mothers and fathers. And for us to honor our mother and father, we have to understand who made them? Allah. So your mother and father was created by Allah just as you were. So disrespecting and not honoring your mother and father is just the same as not honoring Allah. Because Allah created you, He created your mother, created ancestors. So disrespecting me around is and disrespecting Allah. And thousands of years ago, on the mountain across the Abraham Peninsula, for the recent conflict of the Lord God of Israel gave his people 10 commandments. The fifth commandment that the Lord gave through his prophet Moses was honor their fathers and mothers, that the days may be long upon the land which the Lord, that God gave it to them. The commandment to honor our parents that stand that ran through the entire fabric of the peninsula. It is inherent in our relationship to God. Our Father is embraced the divine dynasty of the children of God. This the commandment released to the government of the family, which is participating after the government of heaven, so-called heaven. The commandment to honor the parents in no specific spirit of family relationship in which at their death. We are sublime expression of heavenly love and care for one another. We're supposed to anticipate those relationships when we realize that our greatest expression of joy or pain and more comes from the membership of our family. So this here is what we want to do. If you can't honor your mother and father, respect your mother and father, then you don't respect and honor yourself, and then you don't respect and praise the great God of Allah, because you are going against His will, His wishes, His word. And I appreciate you for giving me the time to speak my measurements. All praise be to Allah, all praise be, all honors be to you, peace and love, gratitude.
Yes, sir. And peace and love and gratitude to you as well, Brother Wahi, Shabazz El, and honors to our beloved goddess and queen and sister who checked in on the stream as well, Sister Lisa Nicole Moria Bay El. We give honors to you, goddess. Welcome to this special forum, and we have dropped the link in here. So anybody that would like to come in, on here, they can come forth, as well. So Islamism. Is there any other more on the conference call that would like to come forth and give their drawing, or any more that's on this panel right here? The floor is still open, family. *6 your phone. Islam.
This is Dr. Baki Bay, the territory. Something like the rise to give that man a praise to Allah. Honors to the Prophet, honors to our state credit government, our real council. Our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, our citizens, mentees, our citizens alike. Honors to all the Moors that came out in support of the government, and all those that had a hand in bringing about the square. And honors to you for the Moorish perspective. And when I'm looking at honoring the father and the mother, it's almost a trifold measure to me when we're looking at the father and the mother. When we go into just because mind, that's the 2 and the 3 that created the 5, which is the son. We can also say, in the sense, the daughter. But when I'm looking at that, it's the father and the mother is also the male and the female, which is the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. And when we're thinking about the left and right hemisphere of the brain, that's the consciousness and the creativity. And that was given unto us to create and be that God in the manifest as we see fit. That's why they say when we talk about God, we build, save, and destroy. Well, we're not trying to destroy each other. The goal is not to destroy each other. The goal is to build and save each other and destroy the falsehood and the essence of what we were put into when we're looking at our conditions today. And so also the father and our mother is the earthland and that spirit seed. You know what I'm saying? The spirit seed that sustains us in our spiritual essence, and then the earthland which provides nourishment for us to continue to strive. You see what I'm saying? So this is a beautiful demonstration. Give honor to the Moors that spoke their measure, and honor to you for this class as well.
Islam, and honors to you, brother, for that grand drawing. We give honors to your brother Bati Bey for that measure and all that you do and all that you will do. Islamism without the schism. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and give their portion? Exercise your fire. This is a Moorish perspective. This ain't my perspective. This is a Moorish perspective. Islam? Islam.
Islam. Yes, Islam and somewhere more pain in North Carolina territory. Once again, arise and give faith to God, honor to our prophet, noble duality, and honor to our citizens, our officials, our government, and honor to this grand measure, honor to this grand class, God, man. Faith be to Allah. You know, our prophet lets us know that we should honor thy father and thy mother, so that thine days may be long upon the earth land which the Lord thy Father God Allah has given thee. You see, and this is a covenant. And this is a very serious covenant, because when we're talking about honoring our fathers and our mothers, you know, we're actually talking about our divine origin. We're actually talking about our holy beginnings. You understand? We're talking about the great God's breath, the infinite cause that has been put upon us by the sacred source from which we come. Our forefathers and mothers are the torchbearers of civilization. And they let us know that there is a holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Now, here we are, here today, knowing that we, from them, have been given a descendant nature. And in that descendant nature, we know that every living creature is the built-in divine and natural powers to procreate. So we're here today for those that are here now and those that are to come after us and during the time that we are here now. You see, and it is in our descendant nature. It is in the descendant nature of living things to replicate itself from among itself and none other. The descendant nature gives the power for birds to produce birds. Elephants make elephants. Whales give birth to whales. And human beings procreate human beings. Okay? Birds do not make beasts and fish. And fishes do not make or have human children. This is why in all the remembrances of man, he cannot recall when he was ever an ape or bird or worm. So, We have to think from where on this earth did the so-called NBC derive? The Negro, the black, the colored, has no descendant nature and no forefathers. Okay, so this is just a little glimpse into the fact of how important it is to represent our nationality and our divine creed. As we know, our nationality and divine creed is Moorish American, and our divine creed is known as that overtime religion, known as Islamism. And without that, we have no standing in law. We have no standing in the family of human nations. The family of human nations. See, it's very important for us to honor our covenants because our covenants bring us back into the human family of nations. Now, that is a very grand and powerful demonstration there, because as long as you do not abide by your holy covenant, you're not honoring your father or your mothers. You know, when we talk about honor, right? Oh, wow. We're talking about, you know, when you regard and treat someone with admiration and respect, regard or treat them with honor, to give special recognition to confer honor on. You see? And then we have to realize that there's a difference between honor and respect. You see, because respect is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something, known for their abilities, their qualities, their achievements. You know, and honor, on the other hand, refers to the highest respect and great esteem. You see, and until we proclaim ourselves by our one free national name, we'll never get the recognition that is owed and due to our fathers and our mothers. Like I said earlier, who are the torchbearers of civilization? Who are the ones that created all the things that we see today? We have the arts and the sciences. We have, oh man, we have so many contributions that have contributed to the light of civilization and the uplifting of humanity. So, as it says in our Holy Covenant of Asiatic nations, we are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given thee suck. So therefore, we are to let the bonds of affection therefore unite us with our brothers, and peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And this is the only way that we can obtain our oneness with the great God and our union to our divine origin of the Asiatic nation, and reclaim and be once again at one with our Father God Allah. So gratitude, you know, for this grand measure that you have brought out today, because it's very thought-provoking, and it lets us know how very important it is for us to honor our fathers and our mothers, as well as our covenants, because our covenants, you know, they derive out of our divine constitution, and every nation has a constitution. And we know that all governments, according to their national constitution, allows us to be one family bearing our one free national name. So it's time to get busy And we need all of our people to come together, because when Mama and Papa come home, all the children come home, and in coming home, we all share that same love and respect and honor for each other and the whole of humanity. Gratitude, peace, and love.
Yeah, and gratitude and peace and love to you, brother, for that is special measure. And gratitude to all of our Moorish kin. We got room for one more who may be trying to get in the Islam, Grand Man.
Islam, can you hear me, National Assistant Grand Chief?
Yes, sir. We hear you loud and clear with divine ears, Grand Man. What have you to say, Brother Lariel?
Islam, Islam, Islam. This is Brother Larry Hill, Oklahoma Territory of Moorish America. We want to rise first and give praise to the great God of the universe, Allah, Anatai, Angel, Elhan, Sharif, Abdul Ali, Noble Drew Ali, giving honor once again to our Moorish American theocratic government, and giving honor to Act One and all the citizens of Moorish America. Giving honor to you, National Assistant Grand Chief Dr. Shedu Amenti El Moheji Sepsuel, for his Moorish perspective, and honor to our brother Marvin Edwards Bay for taking registration as well as reading our chapter of study. Angel, can you give me that question on the floor? Again, I know we're coming out of our new chapter of study, chapter 25. Do you got a question on the floor or a topic, Grand Man,
Islam, Grand Man. Yeah, we actually do have a topic. And the topic is honor thy mother and thy father, for this is the holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Islam?
Islam, gratitude for this, Angel. Islam. Well, when it comes to this holy covenant, you know, this is chapter 25, and this is also instruction. This is 7. You know, our grand national seal at the end of the day, and the 5 chapters that this 5 instructions that this contain, it gives us 12 our 12 departments of government at the end of the day, which takes us back to 3. Wisdom, will, and love, as well as belief, faith, and fruition. You know, and faith, hope, and love. This is what we build up on. And when it comes to this holy covenant, Grand Man, we got to understand that we are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Asiatic and Muslim. And we got to honor this covenant because, as our Grand National Chairman, Swift Angel number 1, let us know, Grand Man, that this is the bond and the relationship that our Father God Allah placed up on us when we left that holy place, the land of the gods, and when we began to go and spread civilization to all 4 corners of the planet Earth. So when we talk about this covenant, this is a grand drawing, Grand Man, because the way that it relates to us, it links us back to the families and nation and restore, you know, because we know that our race is Asiatic at the end of the day, and this lets us know. And what this do is this remove the stigma or the stereotypical way that keep us in a denationalized state, thinking that we Negro, black, and color, when they let us know that we are the children of one Father, and that's the Father God Allah, provided for by His care. And I like to think about our Moorish American prayer when it tells us that Allah is our protect, our God, and our salvation by night and by day through His holy prophet. And the breast of one mother had given you suck. Like you just began to break down early on in your class, Angel, where you spoke about the seed being planted in the soil of soul. And like our chairman let us know, this is the only place that we can germinate and cultivate, because seeds don't germinate in the light. They got to find that darksomeness, you know, in order for them to unfold and be planted in that soil of soul. And as we unfold into our God state, but we got to remember this divine agreement, you know, as Asiatics, because it's 60 million of us. And we know that charity started at home, then it moves abroad, but yet and still, we know in our Circle 7 Quran, our prophet let us know in the 4 little books that he wrote and left for his Moorish nationals, he said that we got a divine responsibility to go out and re-civilize the world, because the keys of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatics, the Muslims. So at the end of the day, we know that these keys are civilizing tools, because establish unto thyself principles of action and see that thou ever act according to them. So the principles of action is our national standards and principles, which is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. When we see that Moorish flag that flew over 10,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, and even was on the manifest over 100,000 years ago, as we circumnavigated Mexium, really to be
be honest, Grand Man. So let us know that this represents a people who've been on the manifest for over 100,000 years. So our responsibility and understanding that the keys of civilization was and is in the hands, we know that the hand is symbolic of the mind. So it's our divine apparatus, our mind, that we got to utilize and unite. When I think about the handprints of unity, the uniting of the Asiatic states, like you always tell us, Grand Man, and this covenant brings us together because it lets us know that ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care and the breast of one mother had given you son. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. Grand topic, Grand Man, and when you separate in the world, remember the relation that binded you to love and unity and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. And our prophet basically told us that his sheep know the sound of his voice, but a stranger will not follow me, and when you fail to hear my voice, you lost. So at the end of the day, we got 5 covenants in more science, Grand Man, and all of these activated, like the brother Michael Moore Bay just demonstrated, through our divine constitution. Because one thing our chairman said, everything got a constitution, even a rock. And so we know our constitution is divine in origin, as well as our holy covenant and our divine origin of the Asiatic nations. Oh, there's so much more that we can run and give a drawing on in this topic. But we want to say we give honor to your National Assistant Grand Sheiks with Angel number 4 for setting this divine measure out and basically setting the record straight and constantly reminding the Moors to go back to that divine source. And always remember that first master question of who made us, because without that first master question, it wouldn't be able to activate that DNA doctrine that you spoke about when you look at that NBA. And when you flip it, it's DNA. And like our prophet told us, what our ancient forefathers were back then, you are today without doubt a contradiction. And there's no one who is able to change man with his descendant nature unless his power extends beyond the universal creator, Allah himself. So what we talking about is chapter 25, 7, as well as the other 5, ayah 12. Our 12 departments. So at the end of the day, Grand Man, we see our Moorish American theocratic government in fruition with this divine covenant, or this holy covenant of the Asiatic nations, and it bring us together as one. You know, so let us not forget the bonds that unite us with love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity to assist him, if thy sisters in trouble forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of our Father contribute to the support of his whole race. And the love that we extend to one another is the love of Allah that we have in each other. Because when we look at our brother man and our sister woman and what we do for them, we do for the great God. So honors for the class, National Assistant Grand Sheik, and gratitude for letting me speak, Angel. We love you. Islam and peace.
Yes, sir. And honors to you, and Islam and peace to you, Grand Measure, brother Larry L, for that grand droid. And we just give honors to you, bro, for all you do. And at this time, you know, we're going to go to our officials, you know, and anybody that wanted to speak that couldn't speak, you know, we say that the measure has not been forgotten, you know, and if you have any questions, reach out to us and we can go a little further. As when we shut down, we'll probably still move probably a few minutes in this particular apparatus, but we're going to end our meetings promptly. So what I want to do is I want to go to our officials. But before I go to our officials, I want to give a drawing from the Book of Fire, the exhuming of a nation, to put the seal of the Moorish teaching on the manifest so our people can get a drawing. And if you want this book, reach out to our Grand National Chairman, you know, at the same number that we gave you earlier. You know, again, that's 609. Well, actually, it's reaching the headquarters 434-676-1555. Again, that's 434-676-1555. So when we go into this a special measure in our closing now, we have a brief reading we want to read from the Book of Fire. Let me share the screen real quick so that our audience can see this. And this is coming from our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acton Pert M. Hill Ru, Tutankhamun Bay. And hold up, right here. And this is coming from the divine origin of the family. And I proceed. It does not take a mastermind to know that whatever is done to a mother would definitely vibrate a thrill from the center to the outer bounds of the entire family. Subsequent ripples can and will extend to the very shores of her nation's prosperity. To say that a mother's worth is key to a nation's value is an understatement. Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught in reference to the universal pith of the family, so spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. Now seeds, men are perfect, yeah, as perfect as the source from whence they come, but they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 1. To Moorish American Muslims, this revelation establishes the divine order necessary for true structuring of the human family. Contrary to this, any so-called democracy founded upon the separation of state, man, and church and God gives rise to family disorientation. This form of man's government of man misinterprets the word freedom to mean social promiscuity at the demands of the people. This justifies social and political correctness, the single parent family, and its single mom derivative imposed upon the slumbering Moorish nationals, highlighted the importance of the mother as the sacred soil which sustains the seed, the child, right? Which they, mother and father, have produced. If the soil, the mind of the mother, is not rich with infinite wisdom, how then can the child be cultivated with the maximums of truth? Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 23, verse 3. Without truth, no child born into the human family is free. Although every child is born free out of truth, they are later enslaved into falsehood. Allah, the great God of perfection, never made an imperfect child. All children are made in the image and likeness, or after the likeness of God Allah. Question 1 and 91, Moorish 101s. Ali said Allah is love and Allah is truth. The yogi and other adept masters interpret this as Allah, the great God, is the light and sound. Either of these essences will verify man as a perfect child, seed of the Father. Black bastards and illegitimate children are the lawful misnomers of what one man records the status of another man. These are court-made, court-owned children attached to the custody of the single mom by European laws. Mendacious statuses, as these bypass the divine origin of man and paves the way for evil, mischief, and slavery. The great God could not make a bastard if he wills it to, because love can only create from itself. Universal love can only give life to men, because man himself is love, and there's nothing illegitimate about anything created by the great God. It is Allah alone, no man nor his courts, which breathe forth his God spirit into a soul, into the body of the human baby, thus making it a living being. See Adam and Eve. It is the only in the fallen thoughts of men will such fearful, wonderful creation be dubbed other than the gods they are created to be. Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 36, ayat 2. Besides, from the corner point of view, it would take a bastard to make a bastard. Worse yet, what kind of government would make bastards a lawful status? Another sample of this man-made stupidity, as opposed to the infinite wisdom of Allah, is the birth of Abraham's sons, Ishmael by Hagar and Isaac by Sarah, his wife. Allah had ordained Abraham to be the father of many nations. Hence the Jews through the last son, Isaac, and the Muslims through his first son, Ishmael. Allah kept his this holy covenant of all Asiatic nations, See chapter 25, Moorish Holy Quran. It has been man's 5,000-year-old stupid argument as to which of Abraham's sons was legitimate and illegitimate. In fact, this crazy argument has reached murderous proportions amongst men. And even to this day, hardly any of the so-called religious worshipers give praises to the Creator for establishing this holy covenant with Abraham in the first place. So what fallen low-life man in fancy garbs of piety is holy enough to declare Allah's promised sons to Abraham as illegitimate? Question. Oh, the pain they go through when leaving behind the divine blueprint of Allah. Ishmael and Isaac are both equally declared sons from Allah through the loins of Abraham. Hence, the hundreds of nations will compile the billions of Muslims and Jews that are here raising hell topside planet mud today. And we just wanted to give that to our family to let it be known. We children of one father provided for by his care. And the breath of one mother has given us suck. We are one nation, people. We are one people. We don't seek differences between our people. We just have to get outside of that Eurocentric interpretation, family, and all will be well. So we want to give honors to everybody who came out tonight. You know, this is not the end, you know, but only a part and parcel of the beginning of these measures that we are bringing on the manifest, family. You know, this truth don't stop. We're going to keep it coming. You know, so we ask our people to keep a clean and pure heart and mind, and keep your cup empty, you know, and all will be well. So at this time, let us call for our national officials, starting with our beloved goddess and queen, Sister Allset Moon El. Islam, are you there, Sister Allset? Well, Islam, we know our sisters is most definitely about the business of our Father God Allah. Well, all right, let us call for then our national mufti, Dr. Khonshu Ma'at Heru Bey, the Royal Council. Islam, you there, grand man? Islamism, where we know the brothers also about the business of our Father God Allah. Well, that gives and makes more room for our Grand National Secretary of the State, Sister Hatshepsut Rakat Ma'at and Pooh, Tutankhamun Bey. You there, Mother Ma'at?
It looks like Dr. Khonshu is on the line.
Oh, yeah? Okay, well, if the brother there, are you there, Brother Khonshu, and you trying to get in? I don't know, maybe our brother might have put his phone down for a second there. Either that or he can't get in.
Right.
Islam, can you hear me?
All right, there you go. Islam, Grand Mufti. Yeah, we hear you loud and clear with divine ears, brother. What have you to say?
Islam. Well, first we rise, giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to our Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, the most beneficent and the most wise, and we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet, our prophet, the last prophet in these days and in these times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honors to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honors to his government, our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live, according to Act 6. We give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers, Swiss Angel, Mufti, our royal council, our secretaries. We give honors to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honors to our flag, our divine constitution and bylaws, our Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal and Grand National Emblem, our Book of Fire. We give honors to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honor to you, National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Dr. Shadu Amendi Shepsel, for bringing forth this grand class this evening. His Moorish perspective. We give honors to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us, and to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honor to you, angels. We just want to continue to give honors where honors are due, and honoring all true and divine prophets, the
Of course, we give honor to our ancestors as they have come before us, leading the way. And we are them today without a doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man in his descent nature. And praise Allah for that. It has been a grand class, and you set out a mighty measure this evening, Muslim. And I think, the masses, the Moors, here, there, and everywhere definitely need to draw off of that warning, because, as our lesson says, a friend will warn you about this destruction that is going to come for those who don't want to get in line with these holy and divine teachings. We have to recognize what's going on within our own sphere of reality by our own reasoning, willing, thinking, understanding, and remembrance, and not just go off of what someone is telling us. Because man knows not by being told. And so a lot of the things that are happening, we know these other nations, they trying to keep under wraps because of their control method. And what we're doing here is unifying our hearts and minds and our thoughts with our people to come together as a nation of people so that we can take care of these things, take care of each other, and take care of our children and our children's children, our future, our legacy. And so, I think, like I said, one of the most important things that you demonstrated this evening is that, we can't be blind to the destruction that is yet to come. The prophecies have been set out already. And if you don't believe Noble Drew Ali is a prophet, just check a prophecy. Everything is being laid out. Everything is coming to fruition. All you got to do is check the newspaper, listen to the radio, as he said, and see for yourself that these things are unfolding. And that if you look, or if you go to those who know the law and ask in an intelligent tone, that you'll get a favorable reply. That right here in your nation, proclaiming your free national name is right where you should be. Because all nations of the earth go by that standard. That in order to be a true citizen of any nation, you have to demonstrate that free national name. You can't cling to the names that delude slavery. And so it's just been a grand class this evening, Mo, and we definitely want to give you honors for setting out the divine warning and setting out a clarion call to our people about the, why our unity is important and why we must act not in haste, but act ever accordingly, because the time for playing is over with. The time for playing is over with. So gratitude for the class this evening. Gratitude to you, Moorish America, for being here with us and giving us your time, attention, respect. We love you. Islam and peace.
We love you too, brother. National Grand Mufti, we give honors to you, Grand Man, for all that you do, and honors to the tribe that is newly arrived. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Gratitude. Islamism without the schism. But at this time, let us call forth our Grand National Secretary of the State of Moorish America, Sister Hatshepsut Rakat Ma'at and Poo, Tutankhamun Bey. Islam, you there, God woman?
Close as a thought.
All right, now. That's the thought the prophet brought.
Praise the Lord. Grand class, National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Islam Moorish Ken. First of all, I want to rise to praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, all of our people throughout our YouTube streaming. Much gratitude to you all. Giving honor to Act 1, to our National Assistant Grand Sheikh, Moorish America, something I'm meeting according to law, to Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, Consul General, State of Texas, for taking registration, reading our subject chapter for the week. I'm giving honor to all those Moors that spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me. This has been a grand class, Dr. Shaheed, our subject matter being honor thy mother and thy father, for this is the holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. You know, Moorish Ken, just in looking at the title and the first ayat of this special chapter 25, a holy covenant of the Asiatic nation, ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother has given you suck. When we just look at the title and we see a holy covenant between the Creator and us as a special nation of people, that in itself brings about a paradigm shift. When we look at that bond between ourselves and the Creator, recognizing the fact that we as a people have a divine purpose, we have a divine mission for being here at this point in time, at this place on earth. When we look at the aspect from being the children of one father, that makes us all brothers and sisters. And when we are able to see the God within each other, when we are able to look at each other, not with hatred or despising one another, because we here in the West have been taught to look at each other with doubt, suspicion, fear, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of that part of design, you know, in keeping us separated and divided in our mindset so that we cannot progress as a people. But when we come from a universal level as far as our perception and thinking is concerned, Prophet said the condition that we had was termed as mental slavery, where even though we may not have physical shackles on, we're still, as far as our mindset is concerned, on lockdown. So he brought us the keys to be able to bring us out of this hellish condition. And it all stems from thought being the cause of it all. So when you are able to look at your brothers and sisters with love divine, you know, as our prophet tells us, as our ancient ones have instructed us to do. This in itself, when you're able to demonstrate forgiveness within yourself, heal self, recognize that there is something greater than yourself as far as our divine purpose is concerned, we have the keys of civilization prior, and the keys of civilization have been returned back to us. So we've got to recognize the value not only in ourselves, not only in our grand and illustrious nation, but also recognizing that there is a need, because wisdom is our gross national product. There is a need for us to not only teach our special people, but the rest of the nations of the earth that are also suffering from war, famine, hunger, homelessness, you know, genocide and things of that nature. So we have to realize that from the aspect of in our unity is our strength. And we no longer can afford the luxury of it's all about the me or self itself and things of that nature, when we recognize that we have got to all rise to a higher purpose and put aside the selfish self and realize that we're about aiding and assisting our people, because that is part of our divine mission. So I just wanted to state that, you know, the blueprint and the pattern has been set by our Prophet Noble Jura Ali, you know, not just for our specific nation, but for the rest of the nations of the earth. And we need all strong young men and women, young, being young in the mindset as far as coming with one's cup open, being willing to learn, because there's enough work for all to do. So we just appreciate everyone online, all of the love that has been manifested. We give much honor to Dr. Shahid for bringing forth this special measure and also putting it out there to our brothers and sisters, because we're all here to uplift fallen humanity. So gratitude, Moore, for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of our Moorish kin. Our chairman's on a mission this evening. Peace and love and gratitude.
And peace and love and gratitude, Grand National Secretary of the State. Want to give honors to you for that grand drawing, goddess and queen. You know, and want to honor also our Moorish kin that's tuning in, because they've been tuning in as we've been going through this measure. All of them that are still here, those who are on the panel. Sister Neverthet Shabakman Bay, we give honors to you, goddess, as well. Brother Sphinx son, if that's a brother. Brother Greg Phillips L, Sister Lisa Nicole Morrow, Bay L, want to give honors to you as well, Goddess and Queen. And our sister asked the question. She said, how can we stop all the shenanigans and horrible things going on right now, today? You know, and I replied to our sister, in unity, there's strength. You know, Goddess and Queen. And our sister said, I understand, but my friends would not listen to me. And I responded, you know, after she said, we have a serious brainwashing that is going on, and that is going on. And you know, I was telling the sister, your true friends are those who support your vision. And that's the vision to be free. You know, and don't give up on them, sister. I see you say I haven't given up on them yet. You just get a bit frustrated. And that's the thing we're gonna learn, that on this journey, sometimes it get a little lonely at the top, so to speak. You know, when you are in a higher state of elevation, you know, but don't give up on the people. We know you ain't gonna give up on the self, because you demonstrating the knowledge of self, you know, and keep putting the teaching out there. Angels make it rain, you know, and once you put that divine truth out there, they can't help but get it, Goddess and Queen. So honors to you for tuning in as well. And also our brother Tony Chiba, and I see this is Thaddeus Bennett Bay, you know, whom we know as well. Honors to you, brother, for that measure. So gratitude. And at this time, let us call forth our national grand sheik, Dr. Serapis Amin Rael, Islam. You there, Sheik? Oh man, that means that love is on the manifest. Islamism.
Rise once again, angel, and give a lot of praise, adoration, thanksgiving, and glory to his love thought. One of brought us our story. Our brother man is prophet. He's the last prophet in these days, the last prophet. Noble Jew Ali, who came 5 times more powerful, set up all free. Give that brother high honors. Honors to our bishops and our staff, this government, as well as our grandmother T, sister grandmother T Core, land ministers, student ministers alike, give royal council, citizen sympathizers and supporters of flags, hymn signs, as well as everything that the prophet brought, everyone that the prophet taught, like Book of Fire, Book of Ali, 101, 102, our Constitution, which we stand, everything that a Moorish needs to be a man, to be a woman, to be a national, to be a citizen, to be a person, to be a human being upon this earth. We have it here in the Moorish American government. Come on home, Moors. This is where your love belongs. This is where we build the character of righteous men and women and bring one back from that dead state of Nazism where the Europeans put us to sleep. But there's no excuse now, because our prophet took excuses with it. Everything that we need, we have it right here. Sign on up, come on in, come on home. Run to, I'm looking for my home. You are at home right now, and we're glad to have you. Praise the Lord for you. And Dr. Shaheed, much love to you, angel. Always sprinkling safe. Sprinkling that wisdom out there, and you're making it rain. Let it rain here, there, and everywhere. From Moorish, Florida to Moorish, Spain, around the world. It's the same song. Keep on, keeping on. Praise the Lord. We rise and want to give ones the highest honors. January the 15th, 1929, a warning from the prophet to be read in all meetings. I hereby inform all citizens, but saying all radical, agitating speeches while they're working on the streets. We're up in peace and not destruction. Not blasting your cars and Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your cars for your salvation. They too obey these orders will give severe consequences. We have to love truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice for him to take his course. Any citizen or group of citizens who overly pursuant toward the government or the profit of violating the land covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down in them by their prophet. They lose confidence in their prophet. They should turn in their garden button, she's one to turn the affairs, and return to the state where the prophet found you. This is everlasting movement founded by the prophet, whose will of Allah to with people from their several ways, the orders of the prophet, Noble Jew Ali, Islam. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. You are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the rest of one mother has given you son. The bonds of affection, therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that binds you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger for thy own blood. Thy brother's anniversary assist him. Thy sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of our Father tribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is official closed according to Act 2 by the divine Constitution and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Go in peace, for we see you on that next occasion. Much love, Islam.
Islam. Islam. We give honors to you, Moors. Gratitude.
Islam. Grand class.
Great grand,
Grand class.
Great class. Great class. Family.
Yes,
Great
ma'am.
class.
Islam.
Gratitude.
Love you, Morris.
Yeah.
Hey, Moors.
Islam. Islam, the Moorish America. Islam. Well, Islam, more. Peace and love.
That's the universal love, Islam.
That's right.
Universal. The love of God, more than where there's unity, there's strength. Love you, more. Love you, Grand Street. Love you, Chairman. Love you, March America. We love you back, God, man. Peace and love, always and forever.
Islam. Islam, family. Brother Marvin Edwards Bay, Sister Bonnie Thompson Bay. We give honors to you, Goddess and Queen. If there's anything you would like to say, Sister Bonnie, before we shut down, all is well. And if there's anyone who would like to come here, and say anything that's in the audience, you're welcome as well. The link is here, and we can hear from our family before we shut down. Islam.
Divine Minister Bonnie Thompson. It was a wonderful class, very informative. And that's about all I need to say. Peace and love.
Islam, Goddess and Queen. Peace and love. All right now. All right, Brother Marvin Edwards Bay.
Yes, sir.
You got to draw.
That very powerful class.
Yes,
a lot of
sir.
wisdom being shared here tonight.
Praise be to Allah. That's what I'm talking about. So again, we want to thank all of our audience out there. We're going to keep this coming to your family, because we real serious about nation building. We real serious about uplifting our people. So bring your talents, and all of that wisdom that we know you have, so that you can shine, so that you can use that light, people, to build your nation. Stop letting all these other people take credit for your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding, these other nations, and use that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to build your nation. So gratitude, family. We ain't gonna hold y'all up long. We done held y'all long enough, but we will be back, even though we really ain't going nowhere. So gratitude, Moorish kin. Islamism without the schism. Peace and love. Honest to all of you brothers and sisters that came in here. All of you brothers, keep coming forth, family. Again, our brother, just to give them shots out, Brother Darrell Bass, Julius Funkris Bay, Ray Sean Irvin, Tony Chiba, our brother Tory Bolton. We gonna let it be known who here. You know, all of you family, keep showing up. Brother Abyss, Jay, you know, the young brother always showing up. Shedrick Elazar, Bay. Honest to you, my brother, as well. And all that you do. Sphinx Son, Adrian Johnson. Honest to you, Sister Lisa Nicole Mora Bay Air. Honest to you, Greg Phillips. You know, honest to all of you, family. Is universal love. So we're going to close this demonstration out so that everybody can get to their affairs. You know, Islam, we love you.